Equalizer is used to correct and balance frequency problems in the low ends, mid frequencies, and even the high frequencies. So we're going to solo the kick and apply the equalizer to adjust the low end. So that is just enough to get the kick sounding right. Remember, when using equalizer, you do just slight changes that will not affect the overall tone of the sound, but just to take out the problem frequencies in the low end, and also to make it sound a bit round in by taking out some of the high end of the kick. We didn't take all the way out, just a little here and a little there. Then we work on the snare or the clap and use the equalizer also to take out some problem frequencies and to enhance it a little. So this is the settings for the snare. We just took out some low end because the snare itself is not an instrument that has so much low frequency. So we take out the low end to prevent it from creating a muddy frequency in the mix later on, especially when we're adding more and more instruments in the mix. And now we're going to add the bass drum here. That is the bass drum 808. And then we'll move on to adding the percussions and drum rolls if there are any percussions and drum rolls. One thing to note while mixing a bass drum on 808 is to make sure you do not cut so much that it takes away the body of the bass drum or the kick or the 808. You need some of the bars to still be there to have that punchy and bounce in the drum, in the drum, in the drum track. Same with the snare. You do not want to cut out so much that they start losing their characteristics. You have to preserve their characteristics by taking out the problem frequencies or unwanted frequencies. And now we took out a lot of low end frequencies from the shaker because the shaker does not have a predominant low frequency. So we took out a lot of it to create room for other elements there because the shaker is not a low frequency element. It's mostly in the high frequency spectrum. So if you noticed in the EQ settings, when I needed to do some boosting, I did it so just slightly, just to enhance the sound. And while taking out problem frequency, I made sure I took out the entire spectrum of the problem frequencies. Now, when you are trying to enhance a frequency, try to do so slightly. Do not do so drastically like this or cut drastically like this. You just do slight adjustments to enhance the frequency range that you're trying to enhance. But when you're trying to take out problem frequencies, maybe the kick, usually kicks do not have too much high-end information. You can take out a chunk of the high-end information for space to exist for other songs in the mix. And you can do likewise for high frequency instruments that do not have a lot going on in the low end and clear a chunk of the low end. But make sure they do not, while whatever you do, it should not change the overall characteristics or nature of the sound.